Hello, Orange County. I'm Matt Takahashi.
And I'm Laura M. Hathaway, and welcome to our final episode of SGNOC.
Wait, what?
Well, yeah. Listen, we've loved bringing you good news from around our community, and we've felt so much pride in Orange County, knowing that there were so many people doing so many good things in our area. Now we feel like the wonderful people of Orange County can go out and find that good without us. Maybe some have even been inspired to make their own good news. So we are hanging up our ring lights and closing this chapter. Of course, any ending is sad, but we're so happy to move forward with new projects and opportunities. Isn't that right, Matt? Matt?
How do I live without you?
Wow, he changed really fast. Maybe I'll do the first story and we could check in on him after that.
I want to know.
After a year-long closure, the Arovista Skate Park in Brea reopened with a host of new renovations. These updates include maintenance repairs, better drainage, an ADA ramp, and new skate elements, including a reconstructed bowl, which now has a 9-foot drop topping what is seen at many other local skate parks. Patty McGee, the first female professional skateboarder and an honorary guest at the opening of the skate park in early September, said, "It surprises me and pleases me to no end to see communities adopting having a skate park as a positive recreational thing." Adding, "If I had a skate park like skate parks are today when I was growing up, I'd be in the Olympics." Luckily for McGee, her daughter Haley Villa, also an avid skateboarder, will be able to reap the benefits of this updated facility. Matt?
And I know that my heart will go on.
Well, maybe I'll do the next story too. On Saturday, September 10th through Monday, September 12th, members of the Laguna Woods Chinese-American Club celebrated the fall harvest season and the Mid-Autumn Festival. Also known as the Moon Festival or Mooncake Festival, the Chinese-American Club marked the occasion by handing out more than 600 mooncakes, a favorite treat during the Mid-Autumn Harvest Festival, to its members at an event on August 29th. Chinese mooncakes can be sweet or savory, depending on the filling, and typical fillings include beans, nut, or fruit paste. The pastries are part of a tradition that goes back thousands of years, symbolizing the full moon as well as family reunion and togetherness. And where did the members of the Laguna Woods Chinese-American Club get so many delicious treats? Costco and Irvine. Okay, let's try this again. Matt?
Might sound crazy, but it ain't no lie. Do it with me, Charlie. Bye, bye, bye.
Matt, what do you think? You up for one story?
No.
Come on, buddy, it's the last one, and it's a good one, too.
No. I'm too sad.
Okay. Time for some tough love. If you don't do this last story, I will show all of the pictures of your questionable hair choices throughout this entire series. All right, you leave me no choice. Here's this one, and 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 this one.
Oh, no. No, make it stop. No. Okay, fine. I'll do the next story. Using editing to blackmail me is cold. Et tu, James?
You did this all to yourself.
Okay. I can do this. During a late summer boat ride with their parents, 5 Newport Coast Elementary School students saw an injured sea lion in the water. Wait, this is a good news story? With a hurt sea puppy?
Yeah, it will be. Just keep reading.
Not only did the young people call the Pacific Marine Mammal Center to make sure the sea lion was found and taken care of, but inspired to help the injured animal, the kids set up a lemonade stand as a fundraiser. After 15 hours of making signs, posting on social media, and selling lemonade, the kids raised over $1,000 that they then donated to the PMMC. According to the Senior Manager of Development, Alma Chu, the donation will go towards a PMMC General Operating Fund, which covers medication and medical supplies for all its patients. For their hard work, the children were officially named PMM Youth Ambassadors and will be invited as guests at the Sea Lion's release after it's made a full recovery.
Great job on that story, buddy.
Wow! Those kids took their time to raise money for the Sea Lion, and they didn't even have to, but they did. It's so heartwarming. And I mean, I have always wondered what the difference is between a sea lion and a seal. Like are they the same kind? Or is one like a dog and the other is like a wolf? Or is it more like a whale and a gopher? But there's
So I'm gonna go check on him to make sure he's okay. In the meantime, we were lucky enough to do one last interview with some of the sensational cast and crew members of the upcoming play, The Elaborate Entrance of Chad Deity. They talked about the show and the process of putting wrestling center stage at the Chance.
Is it like...
Hey guys.
Hey, what's happening?
Hey, what's happening, James? Good to see you, man.
Good to see y'all. So yeah, thanks for joining me to chat about Chance Theater's production of The Elaborate Entrance of Chad Deity by Christopher Diaz, the Obie Award-winning Pulitzer Prize finalist drama about the world of professional wrestling, but really about neoliberal capitalism and the American dream, but really about structural racism in America, but really a comedy. A satire. So Jeremy, I believe this is your third time directing the show. So what do you love about the show that's brought you back to it 3 times? And what has been your approach to the show this time? And finally, what do you hope audiences take away from it?
I've gotten to direct the show 3 times, a couple of times in Chicago. And in fact, also, we started a production back in March 2020 with the Chance Theater. We were 2 weeks into rehearsal. Rudy, who is playing Mace, has since joined our production, but Londale, who's playing Chad, RJ, who's playing VP, and James, who's playing EKO, all were on that production in March 2020. And even since then, I feel like for me, the play, my understanding of the play and the importance of the play has shifted. The pandemic kind of brought a lot of things into perspective, and the racial unrest of the summer, and I think our society responding to the murder of George Floyd and recognizing a little bit more about how race in America had been not discussed enough. Like, I think we really ignored a lot of how race affected individuals. And I think this play is attempting to discuss that, untangle that, comment on that within the world of professional wrestling as a metaphor for America. And the world of professional wrestling leaned heavily on racist tropes, still continues to do so.
What's been the most fun and rewarding part of working on the show?
The cast members that give me that energy, because we all have stuff going on throughout the day. Our rehearsals are in the evening. And so, we all show up with our own, whatever happened that day is in our mind. And we've all, some of us have 9-to-5 jobs. So we're working throughout the day, and then we have to go to rehearsal at night, get home late, wake up early, and do it all over again. And so, sometimes we all show up with our own different energy levels. And I'm certainly not immune to that. Sometimes I feel like I have more energy going into rehearsal than other days, but it really is the cast that gives me that energy. And then I've been telling, I was talking about this with you, James, the other day, is that every time we get out of rehearsal at 11 o'clock or 10 o'clock or whatever it may be, I have so much energy now. You know what I mean? I'm so wired, I'm hungry. So I get home and I eat, and then I'm like running through everything that just happened. And then I go to sleep and I'm trying to sleep, and I'm like, oh, but like, let's try that next time. Let's do this next time. Like, let's have all this. And then I have to wake up. I got to write it all down because I know I'm going to forget it.
As Mace, I would say it's probably the most challenging role that I've ever had, because I've never had a role that I've had roles that require a lot of talking, or roles that require a lot of physicality. I've never had a role that requires so much of both at all times. So, you know, I narrate the entire show from the start to the end, and never leave the stage from the start to the end. And so that the challenge of getting through it as simply just a performer going from A to Z, from the very first scene to the very final scene, that is another challenge. But then learning all of the fight choreography, learning all of the wrestling moves, and then also incorporating stage fighting. And I'm a break dancer, so incorporating breakdancing into it, it's become this this behemoth as far as the learning all of it and putting it all together. But I completely agree with RJ that the great part is that we have such a supportive cast and crew, you know, from the top down. It's not even just the core group of actors, but it's also the understudies. It's our lighting department, it's our costume department, it's our fight director, all of these different aspects. Everyone seems to be only interested in one thing, and that's cohesively working together to tell the best story possible.
One of the most fun, rewarding parts is honestly just getting to watch the work that y'all do. Like, I have such a good time, you know, as someone that gets to pop in scenes, then pop out of scenes, and I'm in and out a lot. When I'm out on the outside, just getting to watch is so fun. It is so entertaining, and I get to just laugh and enjoy. And y'all are hilarious and so good at telling the story, and seeing the comedic work that you do, and then seeing the just powerful, you know, really meaningful moments pop out of that as well. That has just honestly just been such a joy. And then as it's grown, and we added the fights, and I get to like kind of like peek through the curtain the other night during one of our tech run-throughs and like really see the fights implemented in the story. That was like a wow moment for me that I hadn't had the opportunity to see before. I'd seen maybe some of the fights worked on separately, and I'd seen the scenes worked on separately, but seeing them come together, you know, watching from like kind of backstage, I was like, whoa, this is so fun. So I'm just having a blast. What's been the most challenging or scary like aspect of working on the show?
It's been life outside of the show, in terms of like now having to figure out, you know, when should I leave to come to the theater? You know, my parents live in Mission Viejo, so you know, when we're having those long days and navigating staying at home with them so I can have a shorter commute, but then going back, it's been kind of navigating life outside of the show. That has probably been more of the difficult thing, especially since I was doing a lot of stand-up shows and kind of other things. It's kind of it's adjusting my schedule to figure out how to navigate life while this show is happening. Because to be honest, like I said, anytime I walk in the theater, I just have so much fun, you know.
I think it's very telling that in a show that, as RJ described, is kind of more like a musical in some ways than a play, because of all of the elements and the music and the sound and all of the lighting things and all the cues, and we have a wrestling ring on stage. We have wrestling moves. You guys have wrestling moves to learn, and then fight choreo moves to learn, and all the video. This huge show, and everyone's like, most challenging part is my commute. The thing we're always asked is, any actors always asked, like, how do you memorize all those lines? And we're always like, that's usually the easy part. That's the hard part here. Like, it's very telling that in this huge, complicated show, we're all like, yeah, it's not all that challenging. We're having a great time. Because we're having a great time, and we trust the process, and it's just fun, right? Like, so a chance encounter is a fortuitous accident. And we end all our interviews with this question. What unexpected experience have you had working on Chad Deity that you think will have a lasting impact on you?
I kind of was doing a lot of stand-up comedy, improv, sketch, so a lot of live performing, but not theater. So I hadn't really done theater or really been in the theater world or been looking for theater. I was doing some film and TV stuff. And, all of a sudden, back in, early 2020, I just get a random email from Jeremy saying like, hey, we're doing Chad Deity. And we're trying to find a Chad Deity and we're having callbacks this day. Can you come? Are you interested? I'm like, oh my God. Like it wasn't even in my mind. I'm like, the role that I've always wanted to play just comes into my inbox. I mean, what and just from that has led to all of this here. So for me, that was the biggest chance encounter, the biggest fortuitous experience, the biggest blessing of something kind of coming into my lap that I just had no even awareness of. And then figuring out it was one of my peers at Cal State Long Beach Theater that had suggested to Jeremy. So it's just the way those things work is so beautiful and such a blessing. So yeah.
For me, like the chance encounter of it all comes in the fact that we all got to try this 2.5 years ago, and just getting like a taste of like the cast and the crew back then, and just being so excited then to do it. And then going through that disappointment of like, I was driving down the 5 when I got the call that it was canceled, that we had to shut down for the pandemic. And that just like the disappointment, like the heart drop feeling that was just so awful. But again, I am grateful for that, because I feel like, we talked about this at the beginning of our discussion, that like so much in the world has changed over the past 2.5 years, on a national level, on a worldwide level, like on a personal level, we're all very different just because of what happened in the world. You can't not be affected by it. But I feel like that lends itself to the relevance of this show now more than ever. And for me personally, as a performer in the show, I feel so much more connected to the material now than I even think I was 2.5 years ago.
Thank you. All right, John. Yeah, man. Take care.
Yeah, buddy.
What a great interview. Just one of the amazing things we do on SGNOC. I mean, Dan. Oh!
It's okay. Breathe through it.
Okay.
Maybe looking back on some of the stuff we did on the show will help with the healing process.
Maybe. We have done a lot with the show over the past few years. Some elements stuck around and some didn't. And maybe the healing can begin once we commemorate those segments that came before. So let's take a look at some of them now.
When I think back on these times and the dreams we left behind, I'll be glad 'cause I was blessed to get to have you in my life. When I look back on these days, I'll look and see your face. You were right there for me. In my dreams, I'll always see you soar above the sky. In my heart, there'll always be a place for you for all my life. I'll keep a part of you with me, and everywhere I am, there you'll be.
Since the first season of this show, we have been looking to our friend Daryl for excellent advice, and he has always hit it out of the park. So maybe Daryl can help someone. Definitely not me, but someone else with their difficulty saying goodbye. Not me, though. Someone else.
Dear Daryl, how do you say goodbye? I mean, when you've been working on something for years and it helped you get through a lockdown, what's to stop you from crying? And crying. And crying. Definitely not Matt Takahashi.
Dear definitely not Matt Takahashi. Sometimes you just have to let things go, even if it's hard. So stand firm, face what scares you, and with a strong, commanding voice, say the words that have echoed through the ages. Bye, Felicia.
Well, that didn't help at all. Maybe Daryl is not as great at giving advice as he thinks he is. Oh, who am I kidding? He's been right on every time, and today is no exception. And now for what's going on at the Chance.
The elaborate entrance of Chad Deity. Playing through October 23rd is the OC premiere of this high-octane comedy drama that delivers power bombs of truth about unspoken racism, politics, and courage in this Pulitzer finalist.
1,000 Maids. This OTR staged reading will take a witty and insightful look at the problematic history of racial typecasting in the entertainment industry.
Stand Up Tuesday. Our new stand-up series continues on October 18th with 3 hilarious comics that you've seen featured on Netflix, Comedy Central, and more.
Chance Gala 2022. Betty and Wiley Aitken and Chance Theater's Board of Directors invite you to join us for an outdoor adventure at this year's Gala fundraiser, a tropical rainforest adventure. All proceeds raised at this fundraiser will directly support our artistic, education outreach, and new play programs.
Little Women, the Broadway musical. And for the holidays, we have 2 treats that are perfect for the entire family. The return of the audience favorite musical adaptation of the classic novel, and the Southern California premiere of
Fancy Nancy, Splendiferous Christmas. Bring the whole family to see this off-Broadway hit that will surely delight the fancy side of all of us during the holidays. Oh, hey, you're looking better.
Yeah, well, I guess I just have to remember that while I'm sad it's over, we had good times putting the show together.
We sure did.
And worked with some great people.
Absolutely.
And maybe we'll do one more episode for fun?
No, Matt. No, Matt.
No, Matt.
Fine. Well, thank you to the people who made this show possible. And most importantly, we want to thank you, OC. Thank you for your stories, pictures, and videos. We had a blast highlighting local heroes and moments of joy.
Well, for the last time,
this is Jennifer Ruckman.
I'm Alex Bueno.
I'm Rob Ferran.
I'm Laura M. Hathaway.
And I'm Matt Takahashi. As always,
stay citrus, Orange County.
Hello, Orange County. This is Jennifer Ruckman back from maternity leave. I had my baby and What? Wait, what do you mean it's over?